I'm going to tell you something you might not want to hear. Inconvenience and annoyance is the price you pay for friends. Yes, it sounds so much worse than it actually is, to be honest. I mean, when we think of inconvenience and being annoyed, it sounds like someone who is purposefully trying to do bad things to us. And if they're doing bad things to us, how can we really consider them a friend? But let me explain what I mean by this. If you want to have friends, you are going to have to invest time into getting to know them, first off, and secondly, doing nice things for them. What does doing nice things for other people require, at least sometimes? It means sometimes you do things you don't want to do when you're not in your best mental and physical state. Yes, it does help to be in your best mental and physical state to do more things for other people. When your cup is full, you naturally want to pour your liquids, whatever liquid's in that cup. You want to pour your cup into other people's cups to help everybody's cups be full. And that makes doing things for other people a lot easier. But no matter what, even if your cup is super full, in order to maintain friendships, you have to do things that you sometimes don't want to do. My friend group from high school used to go out a lot on the weekends. Some weekends I didn't want to go. And I said no. And there are times when you can say no. You cannot go to that thing. You can prioritize your well-being, which you got to do sometimes in order to stay sane, right? But I do think that if you wanted to prioritize your well-being to the maximum, you would have to say no so many times to the point where you might not have as many close ties with these people. So therefore, sometimes I would go out when I didn't want to. And, well, one thing is that those nights ended up sometimes being amazing nights, and it really strengthened our friendships when they kind of peer pressured me to go, but I was on the fence and I just decided, okay, let's do it. And some crazy thing or story came out of it. And then I was happy I went. That doesn't always happen. You can't guarantee that. But that was the first thing. And secondly, even when things that were crazy didn't happen, these were important moments in our friendships. It was an unspoken agreement. Like, yeah, I'm going to come out and try to put on my best face and be my best self to make this night more enjoyable for everybody. Sometimes you got to be selfless in order to maintain friendships. It's just a fact. Now, the nuance is obviously that if you were just pouring all this energy and investing all this time into someone and didn't feel like they were reciprocating the same sort of energy, then you can start thinking and start genuinely judging whether this person is genuinely your friend or not. But in most cases, like, you're going to get that same sort of, oh, this person is going to do something for me even when they don't want to, back. And, well, you got to accept that. You've got to accept that sometimes you're going to have to drive to a certain venue just to see your friends, maybe 30 minutes away. You're going to have to sign up for something that requires you to wake up early or stay up late. And that is just the inevitable price you pay for friendships, because otherwise, what kind of memories are you creating? What are you guys actually doing? Like, yeah, you can have those days where you text the person, I don't really feel like doing anything today. Just come over, like, let's just fucking chill. Yeah, you guys are going to watch TV, scroll on your phones, whatever. And there is some sort of bond building within that. But really, the moments when true friendship is built, I think the foundations of it are built on vulnerable moments. One, when you really start to trust someone and you open up to them, and you really get to know the person more than the way they present themselves to most people. And two, you create memories together, like I was explaining with going out with my friends sometimes. Recently, I got back from visiting my wife's family, and we visited her family because we were to attend her grandpa's funeral. Now, this community that they've built in the place that my wife lives is It's unlike anything you're really going to see in America because she's not from America. She's from Ghana. And they have this Ghanaian community where my wife is from. And so many people showed up to her grandpa's funeral because they're willing to go do that. I think way more than Americans. The funeral started at 7 p.m. and it went until like 1 a.m. And people stayed out after it, like the whole service ended, to clean up, to stack all the chairs, to take down the decorations. That's kind of inconvenient, right? But you want to do it for those people because you've spent so much time with these people. These people have helped you through so many hard times that it only makes sense that you would inconvenience yourself and maybe even be annoyed because you're going to get a little sleep deprived by the end of the night to do that for these people. And I'm positive, I never met my wife's grandpa before he passed away. I'm positive that this guy made a huge impact on a lot of these families' lives because he was willing to be selfless. He was willing to inconvenience himself for other people in order to maintain those friendships. And it was really a coming together, not only for him, but also my wife's mother. My wife's mother does so much for that community where she does a lot for the church. They all go to church. She is going there every single weekend and making food every single week for that community, even when she's tired, even when she doesn't want to. And as a result, that many people, hundreds of people, are willing to show up for her father's funeral. After the funeral happened, the next day, she called basically every single person she could to thank them for coming. Who is willing to do that? She is willing to go above and beyond, even though she was tired from the night before, to reach out and say thank you to all these people who showed up. Thank you for supporting and celebrating my father's life. That's the price you got to pay for community. This creator, Kyla Scanlon, I think her name is. I've talked about her on my main channel. She's the first one to kind of coin this term or use the term in this way, I think. It's that we live in a frictionless economy, a comfort economy. It is so easy for us to get the things that used to require us to interact with a lot of people. Going to the bank, we got online banks, we got our credit cards on our phone. We could even figure out how to get a card through talking to a person on the phone or just going online. Food, okay, we got DoorDash, Uber Eats. Like realistically, you could go throughout your entire week without interacting with one person because you don't need to anymore because everything is automated and very quick. It's extremely convenient. But the negative consequences of that is that you're never actually going to see anyone and build community. This frictionless state so much of us are in is a huge part of the reason why we feel like we shouldn't need to do all of these things and invest a lot of time into people in person and inconvenience ourselves in order to have a great community and great friends. But that is the case. It's just that so many other areas of our lives come so much easier, but that can't really be hacked. That cannot be shortcutted, I think. There are some methods of online communities, some I've tried to build. Discord communities. Obviously, you can talk with your friends online and even through voice chat. And that's still like maintaining friendships. That's how I maintain my friendships for people back home. But it's still like I am undoubtedly more distant from them now. Our friendship, like objectively, is not as strong because I'm not near them and I can't do the things that I once did to inconvenience myself. But I will be when I fly over there. No nonstop flights to Buffalo from Texas. It sucks. But I'm willing to do that to go see my friends and go see my family because that's the shit you got to do in order to maintain and build community. And now I think this really contradicts or is the opposite of a lot of what I said in The Rise of High Maintenance Friends, a video I made on this channel. Because I'm starting to realize so much more now. Like, yes, I don't think you should necessarily need to constantly check in on your friends or be in contact with them in order to still be friends. Like, the people that I talk to from home who I haven't talked to in a while, or my friends from home who I haven't talked to in a while, like, I'm going to see them in a year from now or a few months from now, like Thanksgiving. And it's going to be like we just never even left each other. But still, and especially when it comes to the early stages of developing community and friendships, you've got to put yourself in situations where sometimes you're going to be like, you know what, I'm really tired. I'm kind of sad right now. I don't want to do this. I don't really want to do this, but you're going to have to do it anyway. And until you realize that, I don't think you are going to build the friendships you think you can get as easily as you can get your food, your financial status, or any other area of modern life that we now find ourselves in. So this week or this month, I encourage you to get a little annoyed or inconvenienced to seek and build a new community or friendship. Because, well, I'm going to keep saying it, that's the price you pay for friendship. As I always talk about at the end of these videos, I'm writing a novel right now about a 21-year-old who goes through this really tragic loss and develops the ability to see into a parallel reality. If you want to get updates for that as I'm writing it, you can subscribe to my Substack, which is linked in the description. And if you want to join an online community, which helps you get to the point where you consistently show up for a community in real life or friends in real life, even when you don't feel like it, then you can join my self-mastery school, which might be kind of like the stepping stone to get there, where we meet in a video call every single weekend and discuss things related to self-development. People are really passionate about that type of stuff, which is kind of hard to find in real life. So if you want to join that, link in the description as well, and goodbye.